Well, good day everybody. Welcome back to the High Desert Garden channel. Today, as you can see, the garden is doing very well. I know it's been about 3 weeks since I've been able to post another video. I'm going to try to be a bit more regular with them, but I've been doing a lot of work and I've got some exciting changes coming to the channel. I've begun developing a website that I think you guys will really enjoy. But today what I wanted to do is basically just take you and show you around, show you what I got growing and how things are doing, and maybe just show you hopefully some things that might help you out in your own garden, because most everything here is growing very successfully in my opinion. So without further ado, let me bring you in, show you what I got going on. Look at this raspberry bush. It is just absolutely going nuts. Every day we get several handfuls of raspberries off of this, and you may remember the video of where I built this trellis, and I really thought that trellis was going to be plenty big this year. But take a look down here at all the new growth. It is just going nuts. But as I said, we're getting loads of berries off of this. We've got new ripe berries every day. The kale bed has just exploded. I can't keep up with the kale. As you can see, there's one stray Jerusalem artichoke that I had planted in there. That was a mistake actually. My Jerusalem artichoke bed is over on the other side. I'll show you that momentarily. But with that being said, check out the beautiful dinosaur kale. And this stuff still tastes great. It tasted great in the spring. When things got really hot, it got a little bitter. Things have cooled down a bit now, and it tastes really good again. I've got broccoli that hasn't quite produced head yet, but it looks like it's going to. And then if we move over to my tomato bed here, also I did have some potatoes planted in here, which I harvested. I'll have to bring that harvesting video. I just haven't had time to post it. But the tomato bed is doing very well. Things are very green. Not a whole lot of yellow leaves or blight or anything like that. Of course, I did just prune things up. But you can see I've got several tomatoes in here. And the largest is the boxcar Willie, and it is putting on the most tomatoes. So let's take a look, see if we can find, as you can see, loads of tomatoes in here on the Willie. Just tomatoes everywhere. So everything in here is actually putting on tomatoes, has loads of flowers. I think this is going to be very successful. The Oya irrigation system is working great for these. This was my lettuce bed. The lettuce is going to seed, as you could see. I took most of the lettuce out of here, and I've grown lettuce in this bed for the past couple years, so I'm going to change it up and make this my Jerusalem artichoke bed, and next year I'll plant the lettuce somewhere else. So the Jerusalem artichokes are starting to really do well. They were stunted a little bit from transplanting and initially not really planting them in ideal locations, but this is a nice sunny location and they'll do well here. Okay, moving on to the peppers. So this is my bell pepper and jalapeno pepper bed. The cucumbers, this is my green cucumber, bouncing back, really starting to do well. And my cayenne pepper. Okay, I love to make cayenne pepper powder out of these. You can see It's starting to put on some peppers. This is getting to a nice size, very nice plant. Okay, now we can move on over to these lemon cucumbers. Boy, they just really vigorous growers. One of the things I really like is just how beautiful the leaves are. They're a nice, beautiful green color, and they look like they are oozing lemon all around the edges of the leaves. This nice yellow lemon, and it's not deficient of any nutrients whatsoever. It's growing very well. Alright, so over here we have these are sort of like bell peppers, but they're the miniature versions. I saved the seeds from peppers that I bought from the grocery store. So this one I think is a orange bell pepper, red bell pepper, the miniature ones, whatever you call them. Here is my other cayenne. It's starting to put on some good growth. I'm not so sure about any fruiting yet, but we've got some flowers down here. Okay, here is, and this one is really exploded with growth recently. Just insane. Put on a lot of flowers. This is like my chili peppers that I got from, I ordered from China. So I call it my China chili pepper. It's really strange because you can get some that are hot and some that just aren't at all. Anyway, the perennial bed, the strawberries are just really exploding with runners. We had some fantastic strawberries out of here this year. Okay. And here is the blueberry that I'm curious to see if it'll come back next year. Just really don't know. I might end up just pulling it up and putting another there. But this, I think this is one of those early blueberries, and it did very well. I'm waiting next year. It should put on a lot more blueberries. And here was just a little blueberry start. Now if we go back in here, of course we have the wildflowers. This is a blueberry bush I picked up for $5 from the nursery. The nursery was closing. This blueberry was very sad looking and dying. And this is a sunshine? Yes, a sunshine blueberry. And I've planted it here. Now it's not the ideal sunny location, but it will get plenty of sun in the summer. So we're going to see how it does back here. Okay, if we move on to the corn has just been doing fantastic. You may see some brown leaves because I watered it a couple of times when the sun was high in the sky, and it burned the lower leaves. You can see some of the lower leaves have some brown. Not a big deal. Doesn't hurt corn. It's not going to affect how it does, in my opinion. Anyways, I'll bring a corn harvest to you guys when I harvest, but you can see I've got plenty of corn coming on. Just doing great. I'll have to bring this potato harvest when these potatoes are done. I did get these started late, so I'm not expecting miracles, but this is a white russet, one of my favorite types of potatoes. And here I'm doing an experiment with a potato tower. So as this grows, I'm adding more layers. Now since I started it late, I'm not going to get a really tall potato tower, but several people have been saying that these potato towers are a gimmick, and I'm wondering if maybe people are planting the wrong kind of potatoes when they attempt to do these potato towers. So I'm doing my own experiment, and I'll bring you the results. Watermelon got started really late. It sort of died back, and it took it a long time to just get going. So I'm not expecting any watermelon this year, But look at the cantaloupe. The cantaloupe has just exploded, and you can see I have several cantaloupes in here. Here's more. I've got cantaloupes back in here. I haven't counted. I have no idea how many I've got, but it's just insane. Here are those mammoth sunflowers that I got from the MI gardener, Luke. Thanks for the seeds. It's just awesome. He's got an awesome seed store. Here are my onions. The onions are finally starting to put on some growth. I've got some decent bulbs coming. Some of them were planted too deep, so I've had to dig some of the soil from around them a little bit. One of the major challenges has been trying to get them to stand upright. It's my first year growing onions, but this area, I had a major weed problem in here. And let me tell you guys, I watch many gardeners struggle with weeds, and it just puzzles me as to why. Because all you've got to do is mulch, and you'll never have to do all that horrible weeding. It's just the best thing. Alright, here's the pumpkin trellising up. You may have seen my pumpkin video on how to trellis a pumpkin. These, of course, are sugar pumpkins. The best tasting pumpkins, the best pumpkins for pies. I've got several pumpkins down in here at the bottom. I'm just not really going to get in there and dig around, but I've got more pumpkin flowers coming on. The bees just love these flowers, and this vine will produce 10 to 12 pumpkins pretty easily. The one in the back there has a few. It's not doing that great. Here are the tomatoes that I start early in this miniature greenhouse. You can see they've completely outgrown it. If I take you in, you'll be able to see fantastic tomatoes starting everywhere. Okay, I've got some nice big ones down here. There's an even bigger one behind it if I could see it. But this is my pink oxheart. Absolutely the best producer. Great tasting, low acidity tomato. It's great for mixing in sauces with other types of acidic tomatoes, because you can really cut down the acidity of a sauce and have to use much less baking soda for cutting down the acidity. Here's the other side. Maybe I can show you this nice big pink oxheart in here, and I'm hoping that the rest of these get around to that size. Okay, here's my Cubanelle pepper just doing fantastically in this container. The other peppers are planted in nice big raised beds, and you know, this one's planted in a container. The Cubanelle always grows really vigorously, puts on lots of peppers. Okay, here is my Violet de Bordeaux. This is a French variety of a fig. Can't wait till this fig tree puts on some figs, maybe next year or the year after. I've got several fig trees. Here are a couple of pomegranate trees that I'm growing. I'm going to do a full update on the citrus. So this is one of my kumquats. I'll bring that video to you next. There is one of my green Ischia fig trees, my cherry tomato. This cherry tomato is just fantastic. This is the first plant that I can start outdoors, because I've had this survive 27-degree nights, and it's just amazing. Puts on loads of tomatoes. They taste well. I like to grow it in a container so that the tomatoes don't get too large. Okay, here's another pomegranate and another citrus behind there. This, I think, is going very well. This is a sweet potato. And I can tell that I've got sweet potatoes in there because the dirt is actually pushed up a little bit in the center. It's a bit hard to see. Here are figs I started from cuttings, letting these bush out a little bit, just experimenting with how I prefer to grow them and possibly how they prefer to grow. Again, a couple more citrus I'll bring you in the citrus video. And most of these are the green Ischia variety. That is a Vallée de Bordeaux that I started. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this update and this garden tour. If you have any questions about how I'm growing things here, please post it in the comments. I don't really use a lot of fertilizers. Occasionally I'll use organic fertilizers, but mostly it's just compost. Okay, the corn back here, I've only put fertilizer on at one time, and it was the hydrolyzed fish fertilizer. As for the rest of these, haven't done anything at all. Some of the container figs and container plants, I do use a bit more fish fertilizer in because they are in containers and they have a restricted access to nutrients. But again, hope you enjoyed the episode. Please look forward to my future episodes and subscribe so you can get notified when my episodes come out. Thanks for watching.